What's going on, pursuers? Welcome to The Pursuit of Calling, the podcast that provides you with the strategies and tools needed to successfully discover and pursue your calling. Whether it's through inspiring stories, thought-provoking interviews, or quick, insightful episodes on personal growth and development, we've got you covered. I'm your host, Thomas Carney. Enjoy the episode. All right, welcome to the episode. So I'm here with Raksha Gopal, and just a quick intro from my perspective. We met at the International Maxwell Conference, which I've talked about a couple times on this podcast already. I believe the last episode or 2 episodes ago was a recap on the first day of the conference that I recorded at the conference when I was in my hotel room. And I reached out and asked a few people that I specifically had a good conversations with at the conference if they wanted to be on the podcast. Raksha said yes, and I feel like it was kind of great because I'm going to mention we're going to talk about this later, but we initially met in the elevator walking down to breakfast, and then later we were talking about this pre-recording, and then later in the same day, I got to see her be coached on stage by Valerie Burton for 30 minutes. And and I was sitting there, I was like, man, I know her. I know that. I was sitting there, I was like, I just talked to her like a couple hours ago. And I was like, it was kind of crazy. Seeing her on stage in front of thousands of people and being as vulnerable as she was being was fantastic. But now, let me stop talking like she isn't here and say, hey, Raksha, how's it going?
Good, Thomas. How are you? It's good to see you again.
Yeah, it's great to see you too. It's great to see you. I'm really happy for you to be on. Thank you for your yes.
Thank you for asking me to be on this podcast.
For sure. I wanted to ask you, for those who don't know you, most people that listen to this podcast won't know you. So who is Raksha Gopal?
Well, I do wear a lot of hats. So I am the biggest pride, of course, is I'm a proud mother of a 23-year-old who just graduated from UCLA and she got into medical school. So very proud about that. I'm also a wife of 35 years, a caretaker of a 92-year-old mother-in-law and an 8-year-old mom, and a friend that loves to party and dance. I'm also an immigrant from India that came to US to complete her master's in computer engineering, and since then had a successful career for 32 years. And I've been a leader 28 years of those. I am a mentor that loves to teach, and currently a vice president of corporate project management at a software company, and of course a Maxwell certified team member.
Let's go. You say you have a career of 35 years. What's that career? Or not career of 35 years. That was you're married for 35 years. What was your current career?
Oh no, my career has been for 32 years.
32.
Yeah.
And what was that in? What is that career?
In software. So I graduated with a computer engineering degree, and my first job was in software development, and I've continued in that tech industry. But I eventually went into project management because I love planning. So, and I would say pretty much like after about 4 or 5 years, I went into project management, and that's been my passion ever since. So yeah, so I still continue to work for a software company now.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, that's actually kind of cool. I'm a web and mobile app developer from a full-time career. Right. So it's cut from the same cloth. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I remember we connected over that at breakfast at IMC.
Um, so thank you for that introduction. Thank you for um, telling about all those things. I think it's really cool that I don't know. I love that we get one, like, yeah, like you said, we made that connection, and that we, even though, like, yeah, sure, we have that connection around software engineering, software development,
Mhm.
and then but then that's not how we connected.
That's
we
right.
co- we connected through through the Maxwell network, because we both have this desire to grow and to grow others.
Yes,
Um, so I think that's I don't know. I think that's really, really. I think I don't know. I just find that really inspiring. That's how we met.
that's right.
Um,
Yeah, I agree.
um, but with this, now speaking of that, of how we met, and with this podcast being called "The Pursuit of Calling,"
Hmm.
I want to specifically talk about yours, and this is something I talk with all the guests about. Um, from your perspective, what is your purpose? Like, what is your calling?
Yeah, you know, I think after having worked for so many years, one of the things that I feel that I've been really lucky is that I've had the right mentors in my life.
Hmm.
And just dating back even before that, before I started working, is just the thanks to my parents, it's the values that they had instilled in me that still continues in me. So a lot of my leadership is based on the values, and that's why I think I got attracted to Maxwell Leadership because of that.
Hmm.
But having accumulated so much experience right now, 32 years of it,
Yeah.
I really feel the need now to start helping others. I feel like I was lucky enough to accumulate all this good information that has served its purpose, and now I've become like the reservoir of, experience. I want to be able to help others either by paying it forward with upcoming professionals who possibly are struggling the same things I struggled with,
Hmm.
but I figured out and I know what the path forward is.
Yeah.
So that's one of them. And then second is just with leadership. It's like leadership journey is not easy.
Hmm.
It's not easy at all. And being able to be able to impart that knowledge and that experience to somebody who's up and coming in that role, I feel like that's my calling right now. I feel like that's where I need to leave my legacy in saying, "Hey, I've done this. Now let me help you."
Hmm.
Yeah.
And what is the, like, particular way that you're doing that?
So mentoring is one of them
Right.
for sure, because I do. UCLA has like a mentorship program for students.
Hmm.
So I enroll in that so that way I can mentor some of the college students who are, you know, about to graduate and trying to figure out, okay, what's next, and are fearful about that. Then even people at my company,
Mm.
there's some people that I mentor. Now, this is besides, of course, leading them. So, and then with the Maxwell leadership, that was the whole reason why I got into it, is being able to focus my coaching on companies
Mhm.
towards the leadership growth. So, leadership development and leadership growth, because I think leadership is one of the things that it's a word that people use very casually. Oh, that person's a leader, but really not knowing exactly what does leadership mean. It's like it's
Mhm.
not just management, right?
Yeah.
So I feel that need is there in many companies right now, especially software companies.
Mm.
Yeah,
And since you brought before you brought up um, the values that you've gotten from your parents, and then
yeah,
you also just talked about leadership isn't just management.
yeah,
I'm curious what these values are. Like, what are these values that cause you to see that leadership isn't just management?
yeah. It's I'll tell you the two key things that come to mind is integrity
Mm.
for sure, because standing the ground based on integrity, like irrespective of how difficult a decision is,
Hmm.
that is core. that is core to leadership. Whereas in management, a lot of times, things are done more with with a singular focus on, like, it's usually about how the company is performing,
Mhm.
right? And
Yeah.
it's not much about the integrity or valuing people even. That's the other thing that I strongly believe in is everything happens because people bring in the value. They are the most important assets. And when that's the case, and as a leader, you're thinking about, okay, what is the value I can bring to the person because they are bringing value to me? That's number
Mhm.
one. The integrity part is no matter what happens, stay true to those principles, to your own principles. Because when you have those two things, I feel like, any decision you make will always be the right decision.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Hmm. Like what I think this is like something I've heard multiple times. So I've from Craig Rochelle, but I've also heard it from in the same sense from John Maxwell, that everything rises and falls on leadership.
Yes. Yes.
Like it's like the lead, like you were saying, like it's not like leadership focuses on the people because they're the biggest asset to,
Hmm.
like, and the biggest asset to the company, biggest asset to a team, obviously, because if there's no people, there's no team, and there's no one to lead.
Yeah.
I like also, I think I'm remembering John Maxwell saying, like, if you're leading and nobody's following you, then you're just taking a walk.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I
Or they're being threatened to follow. That's
yeah.
the other thing, right? If are they following willingly because they
Mhm.
want to, or are they following because they're afraid and because of fear?
Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. I'm trying to decide which direction to go. Hmm. How do you make sure people? How do you make sure people do want to follow? How do you incentivize? How do you, is it incentive? Is it just through integrity of the leader?
It's it is the integrity of the leader. I think when people, it's a couple of things. So one is that when people know that you care about them,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, so let me take it from an organization standpoint, right? When people know, like my team, if they know I care about them,
Mm-hmm.
and if there is a particular vision in mind and we're trying to strive for that, they will follow. The reason being that they know the person, the leader, cares about them and would not do anything to jeopardize them
Mm-hmm.
or to jeopardize anything that'll hurt them.
Mm-hmm.
When that trust is there, they will be willing to go out of their way to be able to work with that leader and do what is needed.
Mm. Yeah.
Now, on the other hand, if there is any hint of hidden agendas,
Mm-hmm.
then that constant doubt is going to creep up, going, why am I going to follow you? Why am I going to do what you're telling me to do?
Mm-hmm.
What's in it for me?
Mm.
Right? The moment that question comes up, what's in it for me, then you know that the leader has not successfully communicated or expressed or
Mm-hmm.
shown that they actually care for the people.
Mm. Hmm. Like before this recording, I was telling you, like, I keep the questions kind of like they're open,
Yes.
because a lot of the time, because I already asked you like 5 questions, didn't have I didn't send you, and it's like, because like I want this, that's why I love this interviewing. That's why I even love coaching. That's why I love coaching, because I get to have a conversation.
That's right. Yes.
Um, and I thrive in the uh one-on-one conversations.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and speaking of those one-on-one conversations, I want to go back to you whenever you were on stage again, coached
Mm.
by Valerie Burton, and I'm wondering if you could give us like a quick. I'll say like. Give us like a quick, like I guess a quick synopsis, or like what, like, give us a bit of an understanding from your perspective about that experience.
Yeah, that was first of all, it was like I think an experience that I'm going to cherish for my life.
Yeah.
It's just number one being coached by Valerie Burton, and then just watching her brilliance come through as a coach.
Hmm.
That was amazing. That was yeah, transforming for sure. The I know, and I'm sorry, I'm going to have you please repeat the question because the
Oh,
moment you said, I kind of it transferred me back to that day.
no worries. No.
Yeah.
Um, First, I'll say for those who don't know who Valerie Burton is, you can look her up. But also, I'll say that she is the I would guess from my I would say like the lead coach. I guess you could say she's a person that in the Maxwell network in the Maxwell through Maxwell Leadership. She's the trainer who does all of the teachings and coaching training for the Maxwell Leadership team and then she's had her own coaching practice. She has had her own coaching practice, multiple books, and um, she's honestly brilliant when it comes to helping people grow and realize their potential. So if you want to like look her up, find her books, I highly recommend you do that. But the question to Raksha was, um, can you tell about what can you tell us about that experience?
Oh, sure. Yeah. So I think, one of the things, obviously, being on stage in front of what, about 2,000, 2,500 people.
Mm,
Um, Initially, when I went on, I think I was in there to really try to get past that mental block I've had. Because since I'm working full time, I kind of have been in the same career for so long, right? So
mm-hmm,
stepping into this coaching thing and trying to go out and have the confidence to talk to people about coaching, I was having this constant mental block about, am
mm,
I good enough? What will they think? Why will they want to go with me? So all those questions that I know it just keeps, stopping us, right?
mm-hmm,
And it's really intense. When I found out that I would get coached by her, I was like, I really wish something comes out of this because I was getting very frustrated with myself.
mm-hmm,
So once we got on stage and she said, it's just you and me here. We're not going to worry about anybody else. And I really took that word for it. I'm like,
mm-hmm,
okay, it's you and me here. I'm going to focus on you, Valerie. But when she started talking, somehow she did build that little, like, the thing around us that I was, except when people like laughed or clapped or something, right? That came up, I was really oblivious to the crowd.
mm-hmm.
I don't know how she did it, but she did it. So that was one. And then the second is like, she showed the power of presence as a coach. And since I'm training to be a coach now, right? So that was the second biggest takeaway. The way she held my attention,
Mm,
the way she held the moment,
mm,
like with her presence and with her eye contact and just the questioning, right? It was just
mm,
so intense and it was just so like I was in there just like going through my brain finding answers myself. And I did not really expect that being on stage.
mhm.
Yeah. So I was just, yeah, I was just in awe at what she was able to have me realize with her questions. Yeah.
Yeah. What kind of things were that? What kind of things did you realize?
I think the biggest thing was, you know, it's okay for me to take risks. I've taken risks all my life.
Mm,
And this one time, I don't know why I was hesitating. It's like, what if they say no? And the biggest takeaway I had is, which I still have in front of my computer here, is I'm willing to hear a no till I hear a yes.
mm,
That was the biggest thing I came away with. And it's still like, it's on my post-it right in front of me.
mm,
And every morning it reminds me, like, I have a purpose. And the second thing I wrote down, which is after actually I read this in a book, was get over yourself so you can give yourself to others.
Mm.
The whole concept of, okay, what is my why right now is to bring my value.
Mm-hmm.
And there's people that can benefit somebody. And if there is a match, there will be a yes.
Mm-hmm.
And if there is no match, it'll be a no, and it's okay, which means they don't need my what I have to offer.
Right.
Yeah. So I think it kind of helped me detach myself from it in that equation
Yeah.
as a person, and instead kind of look at it as, okay, Raksha, your why right now is you've accumulated all this knowledge that you want to start giving to people.
Mm-hmm.
And when that person finds me, when I find that person, that match is going to happen automatically. Don't force it. So
Mm-hmm.
the whole thing, the pressure is putting like, oh, I need this business. Like they need to say yes. I'm forcing it. I'm forcing it with my own, introducing my personality in there rather than saying it's all about value.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think that's what it was. I think that's what kind of clicked in me during that conversation, and it's just stuck by me. I'm pretty bold right now, sending out what I'm doing. It's not with a bated breath saying what if, nothing. No, I'm just like, I send it out. If I hear back, I will. That the goal now is just add value where I can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So it's actually kind of funny because earlier today I was talking with my coach earlier today about working on getting more no's, so I get the
Yes.
yes. And for those who are listening, most of the people that are listening aren't coaches, aren't looking for. Most people, I would say, aren't coaches, aren't looking for the like maybe aren't looking for those one-on-one coaching clients, or maybe aren't even looking for clients. They're working a full-time job. Like, I'm wondering if we can have a conversation about, because I'm thinking about it right now, because I want to practically apply that to other people's lives. And I'm curious, like how would we how would you apply that to somebody's life that isn't um like necessarily looking for that one-on-one coaching client, and somebody that
Mhm.
is like, well, I have some thoughts, but what would you think about that?
Yeah. And you're talking about what I learned as part of this coaching session with Valerie.
Yes, yeah.
How it apply? Yeah. I think, it applies in every field, Thomas, because,
Hmm.
even at my work, right? It's just as an example,
Yeah.
at my work, because I lead a team of people, I'm part of the senior leadership team. And previously I used to hesitate. Like, I'm like, what will they think? Because I wanted to introduce some of the concepts and ideas we are learning through Maxwell, right? And it's great content, right? All about leadership. And my hesitation, and I'll tell you, like I started Maxwell program in October
Hmm.
2024. So in December, I was like, okay, I have this presentation I want to bring to the team.
Hmm.
Never did it. Never did it. It took me till after coming back from IMC with that same realization that the reason I was not doing it is because I was constantly afraid of getting judged, being judged.
Mm. Yeah.
Now, why is that coming into my mind? Again, I'm introducing myself in there as a person to be evaluated rather than saying, I have something that I want to share with the team
Hmm.
that I know will be valuable because I found it very valuable.
Hmm.
And now that I have that mindset, I'm like, I had one session with our team 2 weeks back. We meet every other week. So
Hmm.
now I plan to bring in law of connection to the team to talk
Hmm.
about that. And it's just that now I'm thinking it's just the value I'm bringing. I have something I'm going to share with you.
Hmm.
And so I can see, even for your listeners, right? This is nothing to do about coaching per se. It's really about the mindset.
Yeah.
If you're doing anything that you're thinking about, I want to add value to people, then it does not matter whether they like me or not, because that's irrelevant at that point.
Hmm.
It's really about, can they do something with that material that I have that I can provide to you?
Hmm.
And whether they can use it or not, it's really up to them. It depends, right? Some of them might want and use it. Some of them might have no use for it.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them might have a need for it, but might decide not to use it. So it can go any other way, but it's up to that person who's receiving it at that point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, wondering like how can I add value to more people? Like how can I add value?
Yeah.
How can I add value and not worry about, like you were saying, not worrying about if they disregard it completely.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
exactly.
like
Hmm.
I think I have I've talked with people before, whether it's coaching clients or not, that um they want to be more of a light in the world. That's one of their big goals, is to add value to more people. And it's so I like that you made that connection. That it's like the worry that whenever we the worry that we have about how, like, whether we can actually add value to people or not. What holds us back a lot is imposing imposing that person's judgment on yourself before it even happens.
Yep. Hmm.
And yeah, so it's really just being able to go and say, like you said, like being confident in yourself and being willing to say, like, I have something that that is valuable to others because it is valuable to me first. And
Yeah, that it's valuable to me, and now I'm
yeah,
making it available to others. So if
yeah,
there's value for them, they're going to take it and run with it.
yeah,
Yeah. Because I cannot say some concept that helped me might help another person. All I can
hmm
do is present and say, here's how it helped me.
hmm
Now the other person might go, oh, this, I have no use for it, right?
yeah.
But I don't control that though. I don't
Mhm.
control that.
I like the purpose question the most. Well, one of the purpose questions that Valerie gave us during the coaching training. My favorite one is, how do you want or how do people's lives improve having crossed your path?
Yeah. Hmm.
And I think that's like the one that I think I've asked that to all my clients, and that always opens up their eyes to be like, wow, I never really thought about my life that way.
Yeah.
I'm actually I can add people value to people's lives just through the values I already hold,
Yeah.
like you were saying before.
Hmm. Yeah.
And like I've said that, I've used that question a lot on previous episodes of this podcast, and I don't think I'm going to stop, because like it's one of the most valuable questions I've gotten out of that training. It's like, how do you want, like, I know, like, I have my own personal, like, I don't know what you call it, the vision statement, the mission statement,
Hmm.
and like to provide people with the tools they need to successfully discover and
Yeah.
pursue their calling.
Hmm.
And I um and like I like what Valerie has said in previous in like not pre in like training that I just listened to recently. It's like, then, like, what comes before that even? Like, what comes before you provide? What comes before I provide the tools? I actually have to find the tool, and then I have to apply it, and then I use it, and then I find the value in it, and then I provide it to other people.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Hmm.
um, so no, I completely resonate with what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think it
That's
makes.
that point you just made is a great point. It's like, in order to offer that value, first you have to be able to collect that information and apply it
Mm-hmm,
to see how it's adding value to you, right? And then only you can then offer it and say, here's what I think it is. So going through like even this coaching program, right?
mm-hmm,
That's part of training myself and making sure that, like, doing the peer coaching, being on stage with Valerie, it's like me to see how coaching and the powerful questions can be of value.
mm-hmm,
And then in turn being able to offer that to somebody else. Yeah, I think that applying it to self is so critical first.
mm-hmm. And now you're doing that right now by taking what you gained in that coaching session, now, and now you're able to share it with more people here.
Yes,
And you probably have
yes.
already shared it with, you probably shared it the next day with, whenever you got back from IMC, you're
Yeah.
able to share it with, other members at the company, other, family members. Like if it, like, it's something that happens that's so profound, like it's hard not to, share it with
Yeah.
other people.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing that I brought back that I've been using is that the presence.
Mm-hmm.
So being able to, with my coaching clients that I have, and also with peer coaching, is like being present the way Valerie was present for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's one of the things for sure. I've carried it forward
Mm-hmm.
with my clients.
Yeah. I think that's huge, because it takes a lot, even in like, everyday conversations, to be present. That's, I think this is a good place to end it off, and we'll go through the final questions, and we'll go from there.
Okay.
Um, so, based off of our conversation today, like, and when it comes to, personal growth, development, pursuing your calling, what kind of, resources do you typically recommend to people?
So I read a lot of books.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, right now it's like with John Maxwell's books quite a bit, and then podcasts. There's so many podcasts out there. Particularly, I again, I think based on my day, sometimes like I'm just like I got my headphones on and listening to Maxwell Leadership Executive Podcast, or I'm also as part of the John Maxwell program. I like their speaking, lane, and so I listen to a lot of Roddy's also his podcast,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
and then Mel Robbins is the other one that I enjoy listening to. But certainly podcasts, because there's so much knowledge out there that's so
Mm-hmm.
easy to listen to and try to benefit from it. Let's see. The others are the TEDx and TED Talks. I love listening to TED Talks. And once again, it's like, be it about leadership or encouragement, about resilience, so many different topics. I enjoy listening to that. Or self help, self improvement. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so I usually tend to, so usually it'll be like, TEDx talks or podcasts. If I have time to sit down with a book, I'm not like a audiobook person. I have to have the paper in my hand.
Mm-hmm.
So usually reading books means I'm really taking time to sit down and read. So I can't do it on the go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And well, thank you for those. And like for, the final question, John always asks the question, who do you know that I should know? Or in other words, like I
Yeah.
like to ask, who would you recommend I connect with, or who would be great to have as a guest on the podcast?
Mm. I think, I feel like any of our Maxwell team members,
Mm-hmm.
they are so passionate about adding value to people. And I feel like they'd be great, because all of them have, again, in consistent to your theme, right, about pursuit of calling.
Mm-hmm.
I feel any of the team members would be such awesome guests for you on your show. The other person that came to mind is my first company that I worked for. He was the founder and CEO, Frank Peters. He's moved since to Santa Barbara and living a retired life there, but a very active retired life. So he's trying to he's trying to get more bicyclists and less vehicles in Santa Barbara. And he has this podcast, I think it's called Santa Barbara Cyclist. But yeah, he would be a great one, because talk about just having that calling in life,
Mm-hmm.
to be that single person who's trying to make that change. I can't even imagine like having something like that in mind and going after it. But he is. And he's making like, small difference and in his own way making changes. Yeah, which I think is very powerful.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, I'm definitely gonna. I'll look him up, and I don't know if you have any contact information, but I'll. But either way, I'll look him up and reach out. Well,
Yeah.
thank you. But yeah, thank you for being a guest on the podcast. Really appreciate it.
Well, thank you,
Yeah,
Thomas. I really appreciate you asking me that night, at breakfast. And I'm really glad our paths crossed because I enjoyed the conversation with you that day when we were at breakfast, and since then. So looking forward to seeing your progress too.
thank you. Yeah, I agree. Meeting at breakfast that day. I don't know, being at breakfast, meeting elevator that morning, it was great.
Yeah.
But to all the listeners, thank you for listening to this episode of the Pursuit of Calling podcast. To go out on all the platforms and give this podcast a 5-star review. Share the episode with your friends. Share it out on all social media platforms with your mom, your dad, whoever you want to, whoever you believe will truly benefit from this conversation. And guys, thank you for listening again. I'll see you next time. Keep pursuing your calling.